My name is Pat Gavin. I'm a photographer and urban explorer from Baltimore, Maryland. When I was in high school, I took a photography course and I liked taking photos, but I was never sure of what subject really interested me. And then when I got a car, I used to actually skip school in the morning so I could go drive around downtown. I was really fascinated by all the stuff that was down there, and then I had the freedom to go down there and take pictures of it myself. As time went on, I guess around the time that Flickr became really popular, you'd see other Baltimore photographers and they'd have a picture of something cool, so then you'd want to go find it. And it gradually just built up where I was driving all over the city and exploring all these weird places. The first abandoned building I ever wanted to go into was the Gunther Brewery, which is in Canton. It's really big, it's a giant complex, and it's that looks really awesome. I want to know what's inside of it. And it was just interesting to go to places and see things that people don't normally see. You can look at old photographs of a building and kind of understand what it's like, but it's not the same as being inside of the building. You really get it. And then if you get to a place that hasn't really been touched, you'll find things that look like somebody just left one day and they left all their stuff there. Some places, to me, the scariest places are the places that look if the power is still on, someone any minute now, the heat could be on. I've been to places where the AC is still running. The thing that really appeals to me about photography is, you have a picture, it's you own a little bit of a piece of that, It's for instance, there was a place called Lebow Clothing Factory. It was on Oliver Street, and that place is abandoned since the late 80s, and it was filled with stuff sewing machines, jackets, walls of jackets, and people were living inside of there. And now it's a Baltimore design school, and they totally took the thing and they totally redone it. And that was actually the first place I had ever been in when it was abandoned and after it had been rehabbed. So it's really cool. And Baltimore's actually really good about rehabbing old buildings. There's not a ton of stuff in the city unless it's so far gone or has no value at all. I mean, even buildings that were old industrial buildings are kind of being repurposed now. Sparrows Point is almost all gone, but now that's becoming something else. People want to go in and take pictures and preserve it, and then people aren't interested at all at that. They just want to demolish it and get the scrap metal, and they don't really care about anything. I mean, I can understand from a legal standpoint of letting people in there, but I mean, places like that had a lot of history to a lot of people, and for them to just tear it down and not really, capture that, it's kind of really sad that all this stuff is going away. Stuff like that's just never going to come back. And if industry and people don't come back to Baltimore, things like this are just going to be, this is going to be the future of everything. It's just all going to be demolished.